This video is brought to you by Moft. So I have here in front of me every Apple iPhone case, from the silicone case to the FineWoven case to the clear case. And today I want to talk about each of these cases, compare them, and talk about their strengths and also weaknesses to help you find out which of these cases is best for you. And as always, I will leave all the purchase links down in the description. Starting with the price, the silicone case comes in at $49, the FineWoven case comes in at $59, and the clear case once again comes in at $49. Now talking about the weight, so the silicone case weighs in at 32 grams, the FineWoven slightly lighter at 30 grams, and then the clear case, which will be the heaviest, at 35 grams. Now, in terms of the thickness, they're all very similar, and I would say are sort of average when it comes to the broader range of cases. They're not on the thicker side, not on the thinner side either. However, the thinnest of these three would be the silicone case, followed by the FineWoven case, and then finally the clear case. So I would say all in all, the clear case, you're going to feel it most on your phone in terms of the weight as well as the thickness. And then in terms of the rigidity, doing a simple sort of bend test here in my hand, I will say that the silicone case will be the least rigid, and that will be followed by the FineWoven case, has a little bit more structure when I move it. And then finally, the most rigid case by far, I would say, is the clear case. You can see that when I move it, it has a very thick structure that definitely keeps a more rigid feel compared to the other cases. And then flipping over the cases, looking at the inside, you'll see that the silicone case has a really nice soft microfiber interior, and then the FineWoven case has the same FineWoven material as you'll also find on the outside. Now, what is great about this is going to help trap any kind of lint or say pocket dust from getting in between your phone and the case. As when that moves, there's a chance that it can scratch your phone, and these two cases are going to help prevent that from occurring. Now, of course, the clear case, due to the fact that it is, well, clear, doesn't have any kind of lining on the inside, which means that dust and things can build up and potentially scratch your phone. So my suggestion with this case is to every month or so take it off and just run down with a cloth along the interior of the case to make sure that there's no buildup of dust or any kind of pocket lint. All three cases are, of course, MagSafe compatible, which is a must-have feature, I think, especially for a case from Apple, the creators of MagSafe. But now let's go ahead and put on each of these cases, talk about the fit, and then compare them to see how they differ. So let's start off here with the silicone case. Now, my suggestion for putting on these cases, especially from Apple, is to sort of take the book approach. So put in your phone from the left side first, and then snap it in here on the right. And as you can see, that will neatly attach to your phone. You'll see that we did just have a really nice MagSafe animation. This, I think, is a really nice touch. It is also going to be specific to the color of your case, and it's also a good way to verify your case to make sure it is authentic. Now, let's talk about the fit. So first off here, we have the silicone case, and this case feels really nice to hold in the hand. The silicone material is nice and soft and also adds a little bit of grip, which is really great. I would say of the three cases, this is by far the most popular, the one I see most out in the wild. I've even asked Apple Store employees to see which one they sell most, and they say by far it is the silicone case. And there's really good reason for this, but there are also a few things that I think you should know about this case, but we'll talk more about that in a sec. Right, let's move on to the next case here. By the way, pro tip, to remove the case, my suggestion is to sort of push inwards from the camera module, of course not touching the lenses, and that makes it then easy to take off the case. I know some of them can be a little bit hard to remove, but this method works quite well. So up next, we have the very controversial FineWoven case. So we're gonna go ahead and apply it here, again, using that same method. Now, why is this case so controversial? Well, Apple's FineWoven case actually replaced their leather cases, and I even have one here back from my previous iPhone 14 Pro Max, and as you can see, I kind of had a bit of a green phase going on at the time, but like many, I really loved Apple's leather case. I used them on my iPhones for many years. They really have this nice premium feel in the hand, and they hold up well, and to me, it is a real shame to see Apple discontinue their leather cases. Now, is the FineWoven case a worthy follow-up to Apple's leather case? Well, in my opinion, it is not. Instead of using, say, a good vegan leather, Apple opted to create their own material, that FineWoven material. It has an almost suede-ish, say velvet-like feel in the hand, where on the sides we have a more harder, more typical plasticky material. And at first, this new material was definitely unique and quite interesting. However, after some months of using it, I've got to say it just lacks the premium feel that the previous leather cases had. But my main gripe with this FineWoven cases is the durability, or rather the lack thereof. So I've had mine for only just a few months, and as you can see already, I have significant permanent damage around my case just from normal use. For example, you can see I have multiple scratch marks here on the right side, on the bottom, as well as around the Apple logo from using MagSafe accessories. And this is not great, especially for $59. Thankfully, I have an excellent alternative to Apple's FineWoven case that is actually much closer to Apple's leather case and in some ways is even better. So this is the Movaz case from Moft, and this is made of a vegan leather material that actually outperforms genuine leather, both in abrasion resistance as well as stretch resistance. So meaning it is actually going to be more durable, so it will last longer and actually cost less too. The fine grained texture of the Movaz material adds grip in the hand and looks really premium. The case also comes in a range of colors. I would say my two favorites here are the jet black and of course also the Misty Cove case. Now this case in particular I've actually used for 2 to 3 months now, and as you can see it still looks brand new. The case also has really nice and clicky metal buttons for a nice tactile feel. You also get raised edges going around the camera unit for lens as well as screen protection on the front. Now the Movaz case also pairs perfectly with a wide range of Moft accessories, including of course their snap-on phone stand and wallet. This accessory is made of the same great Movaz material and the wallet instantly attaches using MagSafe, and what I really like is that it can hold up to 3 cards for easy access to all the cards you need in a day, and when the case is when the wallet is unfolded, it also acts as a grip, which is great for holding your phone, especially a larger phone like this Pro Max here, and what is even cooler, or rather my favorite feature, is that it also acts as a stand. So you can see you can prop up your phone in portrait mode, which is perfect for viewing notifications, say on a desk or while taking a video call, and you can then also rotate it to then have your phone set up in landscape mode, and this is perfect for watching videos on the go. To learn more and for 10% off your Movaz case and snap-on wallet and stand from Moft, be sure to head to the links in the description and use code Dion10 for 10% off your order. Right, so now let's move on to Apple's Clear case. Now this case here, I love how instantly it attaches to the phone. It really snaps on like that, and that's thanks to that really rigid design. And of course the biggest advantage of using a clear case is that, well, it is clear, so it lets your phone color shine through. In particular here, I love the natural titanium color of my 15 Pro Max, letting me appreciate the design I paid many hundreds, or well in this case $1,000+ for. Of course, in addition to seeing the color of your phone, you also see that MagSafe ring. Now, I know for some people this is going to be a deal breaker, but I think for me, it's not a big deal, especially because without it, there'd be no MagSafe functionality. Now, you may say $49 for a clear case, that is quite steep, and well, you'd be right. But the difference between Apple's clear case and say a typical $15 clear case that you may find on Amazon is that Apple's clear case does a much better job at retaining its clarity. I'm sure you've seen it before, a clear case that really turns yellow or almost brown after just half a year of use or even less, and this is actually caused by exposure to sunlight or contact with your clothes as well as surfaces. Now what Apple does differently is that they use a more rigid plastic and also apply several coatings to the outside to prevent discoloration. And in my experience from using Apple's clear cases on previous phones, including here on my 15 Pro Max, I found Apple to do a really good job at retaining that day one clarity, which kind of helps justify the price. Right, so now let's talk about the finer details, whether it be the buttons, cleaning, as well as durability, fingerprints, and ultimately which case is best for who. Believe me, I'm a tech YouTuber. I can speak about tech for hours, even phone cases. Alright, so first when it comes to the buttons, here the FineWoven case actually has the advantage, and that is because it has nice and metal buttons, and the advantage of this really is that it retains that tactile and clicky feel of the buttons of your iPhone. In fact, I would say pressing the buttons on the FineWoven case versus your iPhone feels pretty much the same, and this does create a really satisfying feel when it comes to the buttons. The silicone case, on the other hand, has, well, silicone buttons, and as a result, they are nice and grippy, so I think if you have sweaty hands or something, they will be easy to press, but of course, because they use silicone, they do feel a little bit mushy and are just not as clicky as, say, on the FineWoven case. And then turning to the clear case, I would say the buttons are actually one of its weak points. Now, they do technically work, but they are really stiff and require around 2 to 3 times the amount of force to actuate compared to not using a case. And this is not great, especially if, say, you're outdoors and it's winter and you're wearing gloves, or say if you have a certain type of disability, it makes the buttons not as nice to use and I think for some less accessible. Now let's take a look at the cutouts, as this is another area where each case takes its own approach. So starting off with the silicone case, you'll see that we have really precise cutouts for the USB-C port, but especially the speaker and microphone port, little holes. And this is great because it gives you the most amount of coverage possible without, of course, affecting the sound quality or your mic quality. So this is really great. It's going to help keep out things like liquids and also dirt. On the other hand, the FineWoven case takes a similar approach where the cutouts are still quite precise, but they're a little bit larger around the speaker and microphone. But the case that really differs from the other ones would be the clear case, where, as you can see, the entire bottom of the phone is left open. And this does mean that the bottom of the phone will be more susceptible to damage or getting scratches, as well it is not protected. Now, why did Apple do this? My suspicion is that because of the fact that the clear case is a lot more stiff compared to the silicone and the FineWoven case, you kind of need that portion to be open to be able to take the case off your phone. I'll say that compared to the others, the clear case is definitely the stiffest and hardest to remove. So I think that's why. Now, to be clear, it's not a deal breaker, as you can see, because the corners of the bottom are still protected. So if, say, your phone drops on a corner, you should still be fine. But a cover or a portion of the phone that is not covered is still a portion of the phone that's not covered. And now let's talk about cleaning and upkeep for these cases. So I will say that the silicone case does have a tendency to show fingerprints and can also attract and show pocket lint, especially here on the top when taking your phone in and out of your pocket. And that is because of the grippy nature of this material. And this will affect the darker colors more. So if you do choose to go for a lighter color, you will see this less. But if you want your case to always look new and always look clean, this silicone case may not be the case for you. That said, though, it is really easy to clean. You can just use a wet cloth or even a alcohol wipe occasionally if, say, you want to clean it after a workout. So it is easy to clean, but you will have to clean it more often. And then when it comes to the FineWoven case, now this may sound a little bit harsh, but in my experience using the case, any marks that I got on the case turned out to just be permanent damage. And this is genuinely unfortunate, but also leaves very little to clean. So I wouldn't really say this case requires much cleaning, only because every scratch you see is probably there to stay. And this is especially unfortunate because on the previous leather case, I actually found that smaller scratches, say from keys in your pocket or just from normal day-to-day wear, would kind of wear off and fade over time, which is part of the reason why this case, after more than a year of daily use, still looks so good. And then the clear case, well, this rarely shows fingerprints, especially if you have a lighter phone like I do. Of course, the glossy plastic is really easy to wipe down with any kind of cloth. The only thing you will see is, again, a little bit of buildup of pocket lint and dust, particularly in the edges or rather by the frame of the phone. But again, the only thing I would suggest you do is take the case off every once in a while, give it a good wipe down, and then reapply it. I also want to briefly touch on the case's durability. Now, it's important to note that Apple's cases are not marketed for high drop protection. Instead, they're just meant to look good and protect from regular day-to-day wear. Now, in my experience, the silicone case is quite durable and can definitely last for a year or two. The only concern I have had with one silicone case from many years ago was along the bottom after a drop, where a little bit of the silicone started to peel, and that then quickly turns into a larger peel. But as long as that doesn't happen, and that hasn't happened for me since, you should be fine. So from, again, normal day-to-day wear, the silicone case, again, should definitely last you for a year or two. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the FineWoven case. Now, it's not going to fall apart, but from a cosmetic perspective, it's definitely going to show its wear and tear quite quickly. And then the clear case is probably the most durable. Yes, it will gather fine micro scratches, say from sliding on a table or something, but this is going to be really hard to see. And thanks to the simple yet rigid design of this hard plastic, it's going to look good for a long time. In fact, this I would say is the most durable of the three. So let's talk about which case is best for who. Well, the silicone case, I think, is perfect for those with an active lifestyle who often go for workouts because of how easy it is to clean. You get that nice grippy material, so it's not going to fall out of your hands. In fact, it may even be good for kids for that similar reason. I also love that the silicone case comes in such a wide range of colors. If, say, you want to match your phone to your outfit or something, the silicone case, I think, is a great option. The FineWoven case was meant to replace Apple's beloved leather case and is really meant for those looking for a premium case to add to their phone. But honestly, as a tech reviewer, I can't recommend this product, not only for its high price, but especially for its durability issues. Instead, I recommend Moft's Moves case with its leather-like premium feel, which feels super great in the hand. It's also compatible with Moft's other accessories and also comes in at a lower price compared to Apple's previous leather case. This has now become my new go-to case. And again, if you want to learn more, be sure to check out the links in the description and use code Dion10 for 10% off your order. And finally, there is the clear case. Well, the clear case lets your iPhone's color shine through while also minimizing risk of yellowing, a problem that you will often get with other clear cases, and of course also retains MagSafe functionality. This here is a good case. And there you have it. Let me know if you have any questions at all, and if this video did help you out, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this. And if you haven't seen them yet, I highly recommend watching my iPhone First Things to Do video to help get the most out of your new phone. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.